Hey, so I'm going to be providing a lot more content from now on about making acquisitions and investing in private businesses. See, my fascination about serial acquirers is strong. I've thought about what I want to do in my life, and something that I love to do is just nerding out on businesses, searching for them, studying all the different models. On top of this, I guess I'm an action-taking person too. So looking into private businesses actually aligns really nicely with my interests, my values, and hopefully what I'm actually good at. So in an attempt to build my own serial acquirer, the journey starts with the acquisition of one business. The hardest part of, of any journey in life is that first step. And in full honesty, it's actually taken me many years to make sure I wanted to do this. I've talked to a lot of people about this. I've thought about this deeply. See, the weakness I had is, although I am better than many people at staying focused, I do know that I get shiny object syndrome, where a new idea comes along and I can get distracted by that. But what if the shiny object syndrome was actually helpful to my business? I mean, what if I was able to spend, say, a few years building up one business, processing it out, setting the right people in place to grow it further, then find another acquisition. I'll learn a lot. I'll be wildly stimulated by that. I'll be also building something for the rest of my life that also allows me to enjoy and embrace finding new ideas and new businesses. So the plan is already in motion. I have been looking for the first acquisition. The search is actually really hard, and I know from listening to like millions of podcasts now from people searching and acquiring their first business that it's going to be a long search to find the right seller at the right price with the right culture in the right niche. Then that's not counting how extremely risky and extremely hard it would be after closing day. So my content going forward is going to change a little toward my journey around searching, buying, and then running a private business to build the foundations of my own serial acquirer. So let me jump into a little of the journey so far. The next big question I had after I had decided this was the right path was to ask myself is, where am I going to attempt to do this? Since I live all over the world, I'm pretty free. Most of the world felt open to me to start searching. But that actually wasn't the case. See, after spending most of my adult life in countries where English isn't the natural language, I know that I'm already taking enough risk and so much can already go wrong that the language barrier adds just a layer of complexity that I think it's illogical to fight against. So at least for the first period of time anyway, I'm going to cut the search down to English-speaking countries. Now, the next thing for me is visas for myself and my girlfriend. That's turned into a pretty complicated barrier as well. Her passport is one of the worst in the world, so that has limited things quite significantly. So then after a trip to Australia to see my family back in November, I saw the reality of what is happening in most first world countries throughout the world. There is this large population of baby boomers, the 60 to 75-year-olds that are hitting retirement age right now. And who is going to take over from many of these great small businesses that these boomers have been running for decades? Without clear succession plans in place, a huge amount of these businesses are going to be needing to change hands somehow. And I want to get the experience and my feet wet at making acquisitions, as I'm confident is going to be a buyer's market for the next decade. Now, this isn't just me speculating and guessing here. There's actually 97.3% of all businesses in Australia are between 0 and 20 employees, so small, medium businesses. And 99.8% of all businesses have less than 200 employees. So statistically, more than 40% of these are owned by boomers. Maybe it's even higher. Sure, most of these businesses are not going to be of any interest to me. For example, I'm going to be ruling out pretty much all cafes and restaurants, pretty much all construction-related businesses, and most other businesses for one reason or another. But even if 1% of these businesses are interesting, that'll be over 25,000 businesses in Australia. And if the average age of a business that I'll be looking at changes hands, say every 20, 25 years, then that's 1,000 businesses that I could be interested in acquiring each year. Okay, most of that was wild assumptions, but I have been on many brokers' websites in Australia, and new businesses are for sale every day. And that's just the owners that are actively on brokers' websites. There would be many more that are not on the market yet. So, from my assumptions around those numbers and visa constraints, Australia is going to be a pretty good place to be searching. I'm seriously looking at the city of Perth, even though I'm not from there and I don't know anyone there. It is the best time zone for my girlfriend to work from, and I have to be considerate of her too. All right, so I'll go through my investing universe and the niches I'm closely looking at in another video. I'm still going to be following my stock market investments, of course. That is my savings, and that is very important to me. So, portfolio updates and new ideas I'll still be producing, but there will be more private investing content now too on the channel. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments. In my Discord group, I've been able to talk to people who are actively in the private markets world, making acquisitions as well. So yeah, it's a really cool space. It's very stimulating. It's very difficult, but yeah, that's sort of the direction I'm going. All right, see you in the next video.